Hello, and welcome to another installment of The Love Doctor with yours truly, the one, the only, the Love Doctor. Hi, my name is Rose, and I am here to answer your most burning and confusing questions on love, dating, and relationships. It is also the first and only show where I answer questions directly from you, my beautiful and wonderful viewers. So, today's topic, the disappearing man. Men who run hot and cold. Basically, you meet someone, everything seems to be going great for several weeks or months, and then out of the blue, just when things are becoming a bit more intimate, boom, he disappears. Often reappearing maybe months to several weeks later, and then you start the cycle all over again. So, how do you deal with this type of man? Well, for that, we're going to jump right into our viewer question. So please remember that names and places have been changed in order to protect the identity of my clients. So we'll jump right in to the viewer letter. Dear Love Doctor, 3 weeks ago, I met the man of my dreams. My best friend introduced me to her brother-in-law, Sam. He's not what I would typically call my type, but he's successful, charming, romantic, and seemingly looking for someone to settle down with. I immediately reconsidered and deemed him as husband material. We got on immediately. He asked me for my number and secured the next date. We talked continuously, excitedly, late into the night via phone and text for the next several weeks, even spending the next weekend together. We quickly became inseparable. We had plans to spend the following weekend together as well, but that Monday he suddenly informed me that he'd be out of town for a week. On Wednesday, he sent flowers to my job. Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday came, and nothing. Not a word. I sent him a thank you note for the flowers, but it has been a week since I've heard anything, and I feel desperate to reach out. But I don't want to seem needy. The anxiety is killing me. What should I do? Should I send a quick hello? What if he was in an accident or something? At this point, I'd almost prefer it. I hear you, sister. The silence is deafening. Help. Sleepless in Boston. Wow. I think we've all been there at some point. So first, I would like to congratulate you for having the self-worth to not respond to this man, or should I say, boy's behavior. You were sweet and polite when you thanked him for the flowers, which shows that you're both considerate and mature. However, standing you up without an explanation is a big no-no in my book. Not to mention a huge red flag for future behavior that you are not willing to put up with. Also, disappearing without a trace these days has become so common that I think we've even come up with a name for it, which we all know and hate and call ghosting. So ghosting is basically when you end all communication with someone that you're seeing suddenly and unexpectedly without explanation, and it's actually probably one of the worst things that you could ever do to someone. So if you are interested in the topic of ghosting, the science behind ghosting, why it happens, and why it hurts so fucking much, then please watch my other video on the science of ghosting, which I will be posting soon, where I go much more in depth on the topic. But getting back to the question at hand, Sleepless in Boston, trust me, I know how hard it is to give into the urge to respond or to demand an explanation or to even send that angry goodbye text that we are all so tempted to send. By the way, you actually suck in bed, LOL. I know we've all been there, but just trust me on this one. Don't do it. All that would serve is to burn a bridge that you would much rather at this point remain intact. So please, trust me when I say, do not worry. Keep doing what you're doing. Living a full life. going out with friends, pursuing your own goals and interests, and even dating others. You have to remember that these are the very qualities that drew him to you in the first place. And if he found you attractive, then there are invariably so many others who are also going to see these traits in you. Other men, not boys, will undoubtedly know your worth and that you won't have to wait around for. You see, when you inherently know your worth, which you obviously do, others will see it too and be drawn to it. I suspect that very soon you will be hearing from this boy with an apology and an excuse. And when that happens, not if, you can decide. And please, take your time when you do this. If this type of man is even worth your time. You might be surprised with how many other options come along when you're just busy living your life. Even if you don't feel like dating others, because oftentimes this is one of the things I hear most. Trust me, it's good. It's a good thing to just go out and have fun. I mean, not only will it distract your mind, but even if you don't find Prince charming, you can just have fun without taking things too seriously. I mean, this lighthearted energy is really what makes us attractive to people in the first place. Effortlessly, gracefully. It's a light that shines from inside of you. And while you're out having fun, when this Mr. Hot and Cold decides to come back, then it can be his turn to wait. Let him worry for a change and trust that this kind of anxiety is good. It forces him to think about you, to worry about what you might be doing, thinking, and feeling. Excuse me. He'll start wondering where you are, who you might be with. He'll wonder if you might not have already met the real Prince Charming in his absence, and if it might not already be too late whenever it is that he decides to return. Now, I can't tell you not to take him back whenever he decides to come back, but what I can advise you to do right now is to focus on you. Go out, see friends, travel, and date. Just get your mind off this man because he will be back. They always are. The question now is, will you decide to take him back when he decides to return? You see, a woman who respects herself, who knows her worth from the inside out, radiates the kind of energy that is hard to resist. That is one of my main principles that I teach my clients. But what I can advise you at this time to do is to focus on yourself. Because the type of woman that puts herself first, that puts her heart first, is the type of woman that attracts men left and right. I mean, I'm sure that you have met this type of woman at some point. She's the kind of person that lights up the room whenever she walks in. And it's not because she's always the most beautiful or graceful or thin or intelligent, but people will often describe her in the terms that there's just something about her. Now, in order for you to be this type of woman, which is already inside of you, I just ask that you focus on yourself. When you take your mind off your romantic desires, you actually remove the resistance that actually allows your desires to flow to you effortlessly. And that's really the trick to effortless love. When you focus instead on the evolution of your own consciousness, then great things start to happen. So I'm going to ask you now to please listen to my advice and then go out and do it. Not tomorrow, but today. Just find a new or existing interest, take up a new hobby and explore it passionately. Something that you might have always wanted to try but maybe have been too afraid to do before now. Just get out of your comfort zone, and then you'll see that soon this missing man will be the last thing on your mind. And then when you turn around, there he'll be, like magic. And then you can decide if this man's even worth giving another chance to. You see, when you become your ideal self, who knows? You might even attract your ideal man. The type of man who knows your worth from the beginning. The type of man who doesn't need convincing, who doesn't need to lose you in order to see your worth. And then maybe when this disappearing man decides to show back up, then he'll be the last thing on your mind. I really hope that this has helped you not just to see your own worth, but the real power that's within you. This type of feminine power and energy is often muted within ourselves, either by society or by our own inner voice or the voice of others, the voice that tells you that you're not smart enough or not pretty enough or not thin enough. And we might try to block it, but it's there nonetheless. And so the sooner that you begin to see and harness this power and energy within you, then the closer you're going to get to living the life of your dreams with the man of your dreams. And the closer you'll get to having the ideal relationship with the person that matters most. And that is you, my dear, beautiful viewer. So until next time, I hope you remember that you are beautiful, you are worthy, and you are perfect, just as you are. So if you've liked this video or if it has been helpful in any way, then please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe below. And please leave me a comment if this has helped you or inspired you or empowered you, or if there is another woman in your life that you feel needs to hear these words, then please feel free to share the content with them as well, because that is the point of having started this YouTube channel, is really to get out this information to as many women as possible, not just because it really, really works, and I mean works almost 100% of the time when applied correctly, but really because it's important for us as women to realize the type of power that we have within us. It's so often muted by society or by family or by gender roles or expectations of who it is that people say we should be. But who we are is perfect. We just need to remember that and let our inner light shine as authentically as possible. So again, until next time, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe below. If you'd like to sponsor me on Patreon or make a good karma donation, then that information can be found in the description box below, and that can help me to keep bringing this great content to you. And if you would like some one-on-one consulting, I do have a few spots open still, and you can email me for that at deardoclove@gmail.com, and that information can also be found in the description box below. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.